It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 208. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, lots and lots of patch 5.3 information. We'll watch the new patch 5.3 trailer. We have live letter 59, fan mail, and a reminder about our contest. But first, let's shoot the shit what has been going on this week. Hi there, Ruby.
What up, Yelta?
What up, indeed? How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent.
Excellent. Be excellent to each other. Bill and Ted 3 trailer hit today. I'm loving it. I'm a longtime fan. Yeah, in short, it looks like it's a mix between a new plot, but the daughters are kind of going through the plots of the first and second movie. So they're like assembling some historical figures. Heaven and hell are involved. looks like a complete epic quest involving all three. So maybe it'll feel as grandiose as like Back to the Future 3. You know, that kind of incorporated all those elements. Well, anyway, we can only hope. So I'm feeling great because we have news. We have lots and lots of news.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. 5.3. It's going to be good. I hear the murmurs. I've been watching the Twitters, and I see people that are going, it's not enough. It's not enough content. What do us high-end raiders do, et cetera, and I mean, I'm sympathetic. I'm sympathetic that some people may believe that there's not going to be enough to do here, but I am optimistic, especially in what we're going to receive in the Relic Quests when we do get them. I'm optimistic in the future. So optimistic, in fact, that my playtime has increased. I've been in. I don't recall if I talked about this. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, but just as a recap, if I didn't, I did take my Bard all the way up to 80. I got the Bard weapon, the Relic, and I finished off the role quests, which I thought were very interesting. They weren't as good as the healer ones. It might have been better than the caster one, but it was okay nonetheless. I don't know what the tank one is yet, but in your opinion, not the hidden one, Yelta, of course, the fifth one, but of the role quest, where do you think the ranged one sits? Like your favorite?
Don't remember. I did them a year ago.
Oh, well,
I don't remember. The ranged one, was that the Makoti guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rich boy who was like his
that one was okay.
Okay.
I liked, because that was for, what's her name, the Bard. I kind of liked the lesson it was trying to show, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, I liked that. I liked it. It was pretty good.
Well, is the tank one good? I guess that would be my question.
You don't
remember? So maybe it's not that great. You remember the healer one, though.
I remember the healer one. It was my first one. I think I'm going to go do it again because I just got my alt healer to 80. Yeah, they were. I liked all four of them. Plus, I liked the last one. I didn't think any of them were super weak. I know a lot of people didn't like the caster one.
Yeah, the caster one seemed like
little weak.
Yeah, but I could only compare it to the healer. So I mean, if it's like the best versus the worst, then you know that's quite a difference. But I liked the Bard one. I thought it was good, and I too enjoyed the lesson. You know, not going out on your own, involve your friends. It's about togetherness. So great, wonderful. I'm interested in seeing what the next one is. So I've been leveling Paladin. I have taken Paladin up to 60 in the past, but it's taken me all of, 6 years of this game or whatever it is to take Paladin to 60. So I was like, well, let me goof with it. And I took it to 62. I actually got 62 tonight. I was playing today. I have not taken it into any real content. That 60 to 62 is some Heaven on High. It's some Fates. It's doing a couple of rounds of Beast Tribes and some Hunt Logs. So, you know, I'm using my resources. That's what they're there for. But I haven't taken it into any real content because I have that tanxiety. And I really only have it because I've never really tanked in this game. I've tanked in other games. I just never tanked in this game. When I tanked in Star Wars. And when I tanked in Star Wars, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And to any infantile mind like mine was, my naivety, I just ran and hit buttons, and it felt good. And I'm sure my teammates probably cursed me under their breath, but I thought it was fun because nobody ever told me any different, I suppose. But for whatever reason, I haven't done it in this game due to some abstract fear. I've never been yelled at for anything Paladin related or tank related at all. And I probably could count the number of times I've on both hands that I have gone into any kind of group content on Paladin. Most of them would be with free company members. So I did a lot of Gladiator stuff just solo. I must have just done Fates or something like that. So I never really did it. And my biggest fear, what I want to get to is, my biggest fear is not being yelled at by people or whatever. I guess it is, kind of. But it really was around holding hate. I had an issue being able to read the enemy list and determine which ones weren't hitting me and which ones were hitting someone else, and it would throw me off. I would just have issues with also the provoke at the time. You got to hit it first and then provoke it and things of that nature. Flash was kind of weird to me because you had to flash twice and then
overpower is even worse because it's like a conal. It's like, oh, good luck if something snuck behind you.
Yeah, so there were and this is, I only had experience with Gladiator / Paladin. I never touched Marauder / Warrior, and then don't even ask me about the other tanks really. So my experience has been very limited in Paladin. I was asked on Twitter by, I think, one of our listeners about, my preference on tanks, I guess because I've been leveling it and I was vocal about it on Twitter. And I just don't have a lot of experience, so my tanxiety was through the roof. So I've been watching videos, and I've been watching, I think it's Desperius, FFXIV, Desperus or Desperius, forgive me for butchering your name. You do some pretty decent videos, and I've been watching your Paladin and your tank videos. And what clicked for me finally, I got to put this into practice, but what clicked for me is that now that the Oath is just, it's stupid easy to keep hate, that I don't have to worry about keeping hate going into a dungeon. I can just do the AoE combos. Is that right? Can I just run through doing AoE combos? And as long as I touch...
Yes, that's what I did in dungeons.
As long as I touch every mob now,
just touch them.
I have the hate. Listen, if they stick to me, it must have been a good touch because they're still with me, right? They want to be near me. So I'm touching them, and as long as I touch them, they're not going to hit my healer or my DPS. So that's my thing. If I can do that, I really don't think I have tanxiety anymore. So I got to put it into practice. I've only been leveling this Paladin for 2 days. I took it to 60, 62 in 2 days. So I need to take it to a dungeon.
If you have time, go into MSQ Roulette. It's the coin flip, right? It's long, but it's that chunk of XP. And a lot of times, the other tank is just going to grab the boss. So I usually, if the other tank doesn't grab the boss, I grab the boss and then just focus on the boss. Or if the other tank grabs the boss, I just try to keep ads off of healers.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's good.
I would not be scared to do that.
Good advice, especially before they start, chopping up my Praetorium and stuff. I want to take advantage of it, but I think you're right because it's really hard to screw those up, and I can test my theory about AOE hitting everything. So I'll give a report on my Praetorium / Caster Meridianum run.
That's your assignment.
That's my homework. do the main story roulette. Whoop-de-doo. So that's what I've done in game. Outside of that, Animal Crossing, still on it, still try to log in every day. I had some meteors last night on the last day of Cancer. If you're into tropical horoscopes, it was the last day of Cancer, and so It wasn't star showers, but it was there was a lot of stars out, shooting stars. So I managed to get a fragment, a Cancer fragment this morning. And now we are in Leo season, I believe. So start going out. I read something interesting about they had patched a few patches back that you could get shooting stars on cloudy days, which increased dramatically the number of shooting stars you could get.
Possible days, yeah.
Right, and that on days that you have it and that are not star storms, you get 5 within that minute. And it's verifiable. So now I know when I see one to hang out. I would do stupid stuff like grab my axe or something. And, oh, shit, I got to drop the axe and look up.
No, you basically have to watch TV, have it in your hand, and when you hear the little sound, hit the button.
Exactly. No. Or I could play 14 and do that.
Yeah. I have done that.
So that's a thing. So I got my stars, and things are coming along on the island. We're moving people around, and we've also got very liberal in the way that we're taking our villagers in. We used to be like, if we don't have their portrait, we're not letting them go. But now we're just like, let's just flip these mofos out, just in and out. Come on, let's just get some new ones, mix it up.
I'm sick of your face.
I'm sick of your face. We got a duck, and he was cute for like 2 days, and now I'm already ready to get rid of him. And I don't pick the ugly ones either. I can't do the frogs, and I can't do the alligators. Sorry, write me an angry letter. I just can't do it. And last thing I did, which was the most recent thing, is watch that Xbox presser today. If you're into Xbox, I'm really not, but I'm into like gaming news in general, so you kind of have to know what's on the horizon. So saw some Halo stuff, saw some Fable stuff, saw Psychonauts. There's a lot of stuff, I think Forza, and then no Final Fantasy 14. Nothing about 14. So
lies.
If that's on your radar, you can take it off for right now because that's not any kind of Xbox announcement that they're pumping out right now.
so sad.
Yeah, but oh well, maybe next year. And that is what I have done this past week. Yelta, what have you done?
I logged on a little bit to 14. I kind of I log in and like help my friends, especially free company mates who are leveling damage dealers, just to give them a goddamn healer queue. Mm-hmm. It's just give them, not a 30-minute queue.
That's generous of you. It's good.
Yeah. Well, that and I've been getting into voice chat more when I log in. That used to be a habit of mine. In fact, there was a lot of times like when playing WoW and Final Fantasy 11 and earlier days of 14, I would sometimes pull out Vent or TeamSpeak or whatever we were using, and I would usually be logged into that before I was even completely logged into the game. So I forget to be social sometimes, but I've been doing that more and more. I think we did some mount farming over the weekend. Not a lot of drops. I'm at over 104 totems for Ruby.
Wow.
And and I've bought a couple weapons, so I've done a lot of Ruby. So now I'm like, do I wait till you can buy it? That's a long time. Or should I go back there and keep farming? I'm kind of salty though, because I actually stopped logging in for a few days because I got so butthurt. I joined a learning party for Ruby. It was the only Ruby party that had been up for like half an hour. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll join. Long as as long as my expectation is they're learning. I think they were like cleaning up something, whatever. I can't remember what it was, but I think it was a learning, not a clear party. So I went in there and they invited me to their Discord. So I went in and we picked our spots and we did whatever. And then a lot of them hadn't cleared it, and a couple of them had. And there's always the argument about where to stack for the 3 circles that come out, right? People like to stack on the line, and then they move, and then they move again. Well, I learned it, and every group I have ever convinced to try it have taken the stack in the cleavage, shift left. Mm-hmm. I even have a fucking macro. So we're in voice chat. First of all, that comes up, and 3 And I said something about stacking the cleavage and shift left, and this other guy loses his goddamn mind. He's like, no. Oh, he claimed I killed him, first of all. Well, with our current gear levels, and he was geared as well as me, one line will not kill you. If he died, he either stood in multiple lines or he got hit by a circle. So we argued for a while, and I'm like, listen, every group I have ever convinced to try stacking the cleavage shift left has been like, wow, that's amazing. I don't know why we were killing ourselves doing it any other way.
I don't even know the other way you're talking about, because I've done this a few
So there's
times.
a line, 3 lines that come out, and that's the line that the circles. By the way, I'm holding my hands up, showing you this.
The spirally lines, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So he just got the 3 circles, and they go boom, 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 but they kind of rotate as they come down.
Sure.
The line is right in the middle of that. So you and I understand the idea is to bait the lasers, but it's, so anyway, finally he's like, no, your way is stupid. And I'm like, all right, I said, and I'm in voice chat with the whole group. I'm like, he's like, I'm going to mark myself with chain, just follow me. I'm like, all right. And he tried to show us before polling how to do it or whatever. And so I'm like, all right. I said, I will stand on you and move with you as requested. Next 2 polls, both of us fucking died. And I'm like, so the poll before that, when he's like, you're killing me, Yelta. Because, I followed him for the first one, got hit by something, bennied myself, and then he was dead. So then for the next, because it does it, twice. So I stood in the cleavage. I'm like, look, if you stand in the cleavage and shift left, and I'm like, see, I'm fine. He's like, you killed me. And I'm like, bitch, you were already dead. But of course, I can't pull up the parser, or I probably could copy the login and be like, I didn't kill you. You got hit by the big ass circle, because standing on the line makes you kind of travel in front of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas the stack in the cleavage and shift left, you're following it at a safe distance. Yeah, occasionally you get a bad combo and you might have to shift a little bit, but you have way more leeway doing it that way. So anyway, I was so mad, but we got past that part. And of course the people who are fucking mouthing off that they know how to do it are the ones who are dying to the dashes and but finally we got to the end and we had gotten to comets. So the 2 tanks take the comets. Well, that's it. If you can get through the comets, you're pretty much done. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll stay with the group, whatever. There was nothing else that came up onto Party Finder. And at this point, it was 3 a.m. And I'm like, I am ride or die at this point. But I was so mad, though, after we did clear it, by the way. But I was so mad, I just didn't want to go back into Ruby. I'm like, I'm not inflexible. I tried it his way. I tried it his way multiple times, and he and I both died. Now, mind you, the rest of the party, a lot of them had never done it before. They're not stacking anywhere. They're all over the ranges are out in Timbuktu. Yeah. Just everybody's everywhere. And it's just, I'm like, and that's the only part of that fight that you can argue about. The only other part people ever argue about is whether we should rotate or not. Well, rotating isn't that hard. Now, I've had 2 different ways groups want to do the rotate too. Some groups want to rotate no matter if it's liquefaction or undermine. Well, if you've lined everybody up correctly, you only rotate for liquefaction. Yeah. That puts the ranged on the long lines, and it keeps the melee and tanks up close. Mm-hmm. It's stupid to then rotate both times. That's as good as not rotating. It's the same difference. I'm like, you guys are hurting my brain.
I guess what I don't understand in all these scenarios is these parties, these groups, why are they not learning uptime strats from the get-go? What you're describing from standing in the boob and moving left and the proper rotation are uptime strats, because your range can hit. When you're standing in the boob, you're in melee range, and all you gotta do is tuck a little bit to the left, so people are keeping the heat on. It makes the fight shorter. You're doing more damage. It's optimal. Hey, a lot of our listeners like optimal, right? right? So why are people not learning uptime strats from the get-go? You can't tell me that you can't tell me that Mr. Happy is putting bad uptime strat guides out there. Maybe I'm wrong about that. You can't tell me if he's even doing guides right now. You can't tell me that Genesis and somebody else, Ms. Tech, somebody that's putting these guides out there are not showing the proper uptime, because maybe if they're not, I think they should, because if we're peddling information to new players that is going to cause confusion and hurt Melee, I mean, what are we going to do? Just continue to make Melee job less and less positionals and easy because we don't learn the proper uptime? I mean, I'm taking this to the nth degree right here, but I just don't understand why people aren't learning uptime strats from the get-go, or why they're not being taught that. It's not I'm not blaming the learner as much as I'm blaming, like, who's providing the information to these people. Like, what was the job of the person you were arguing with? Was it the other healer?
He was a ninja or something.
So a melee was wanting to do a strategy that didn't keep them in melee range for some reason.
I don't remember for sure.
That's the kind of shit I don't understand.
So, it was infuriating because I was willing to try his way, and when that didn't work out, didn't matter. And I had already told them all in voice chat. I'm like, listen, every group I have, and I've converted farm parties to change their ways. Mm-hmm. You know, people who had farmed it 50 times, people who already had their mounts. I'm like, let's just try it. This group was having none of it. So it was just like, fine. I should have just left, but...
Yeah. There's always that, I should have just left. Mm-hmm. I knew better.
Yeah, part of me is like, well, go ahead and stay bad. But, you know, it's just... I don't know.
You've earned your mentor crown.
I earned my mentor crown. I tried, and I was nice about it. That's the thing, is I was willing to try the other way. I've been wrong before. I've been taught poor, not usually. First of all, I learn a lot of fights. Well, I learn a lot of fights in Party Finder, but then I usually farm a lot of fights with the free company, and we've got some free company. Beldandy especially teaches and then it corrects, and he's like, no, here's why you want to do it this way. So when it's our free company's farm party, even with pugs, usually we just win by saying, no, we're doing it this way.
Yep.
You know?
Don't like it, go.
Don't like it, you can go. I don't know. What else did I do? Not a whole lot. There's not much left for me to... I've been getting a little bit of tomes. I have pulled out the Black Mage and gone to a striking dummy and trying to learn the proper new openers, and they're just too many buttons. My brain can't... I gotta find a simplified opener that's not ass. Maybe. Or some of the openers are like, you have to have this much gear. Well, I don't have that much gear. So I may just have to go back to the while you're leveling rotation. I don't know. I need some advice. Maybe I should ask somebody who plays Black Mage, because it's like, I cannot remember all those buttons, and I'm not raiding on Black Mage, right? Part of the reason I want to relearn a DPS role is we have so many healers right now in the free company.
Yeah.
That it's like... You know, I logged in to help with a farm party the other night, a free company one. I popped in and I switched to White Mage, didn't even think about it, got invited to the party. And then somebody's like, we got 3 healers. And then one of the healers is like, I only know how to heal this fight. And I'm like, so do I. Oh, it was Hades. So I'm like, listen, I don't know it either, but I don't need this, so I'll just drop and you can replace me. But I'd like to be able to help. And then some people are like, you should learn to tank. And I'm like, my body's not ready for that yet. I know some people are like, tanking? This fight's really easy. All you gotta do is one tank swap. I'm like, I've never tank swapped.
Right. Yeah. You know? That would be my next...
I probably could do it.
That'll be my next level of tankxiety when I have to figure out, you know, how to hit that shirk button.
Yeah.
Fucking freaking out. Yeah.
But no, I did buy I got some tomes and bought a couple pieces of gear, and I went with someone needed, Raven needed, the item out of, Eden 8 normal, because she never got all the items to get her micro tome, or whatever the special tomestone is, so she could get her weapon. And I got a ring or something from her black mage. But other than that, I played a little bit Animal Crossing. I didn't play today. I'm going to have to go play today. I just yesterday got all of my diving critters. Cool. Every single one of them. I got all 40. I got the vampire whatever, and then the next one I chased around immediately after was the giant clam or whatever. I chased that thing for 20 minutes across the map. Holy fuck. Right. Did you get that one yet?
No, I haven't done much diving.
Oh my god. You should, because you dive a little bit every day, and usually Pascal will show up and give you a pearl or a piece of the mermaid set.
That stoner. Right? He always, I've seen him send us some advice, and he's
gonna lay it on you.
It's pretty weird stuff.
Yeah, so I've been trying to do some of that and catch a couple bugs every day, whatever. Check out the glamour, because glamour is again the true end game. Somebody asked me the other day, what would be the win condition for that game, and I'm like, this kind of the game that's a slow burn, and to get all the items and do all the things, it's got day-night cycles, it's got astrology is involved, weather is involved, seasons are involved, holidays are involved. I'm like, you might have to play it, for 2 years to get all the things.
Yeah.
And they're like, but not all the things. They're like, what's a win condition? And I'm like, well, maybe upgrading your house all the way isn't hard. So I don't know if that would be a win. What would be a win condition if you're gonna say you won the game and then you're gonna say you completed the game? Well, completing the game would be a longer list than winning the game. What would a win condition for Animal Crossing be for you?
The win condition would be akin to Matthew Broderick's win condition in the War Games. The only way to win is to not play. Because this game is forever. It's forever. I don't think there's an actual win condition. Win condition would have to be something like collecting every item of every color of every outfit.
To me, that's completion, right? That's completing all the things. But just like winning, is it like 5-star town? Gold roses? That's still not real hard,
okay, so you're saying
think.
Like win means I set it down and I say, hey, I cleared it, or something.
Yeah, I cleared it versus I did all the extra side stuff.
If I would say, yeah, a 5-star town, and I guess a 5-star town, you have to go through all the major steps of upgrading your house all the way and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think once you hit 5-star town, you get that lily of the valley or whatever that grows, and you can pretty much call it a win. Now, you also kind of probably wanted like a gold rose. I think for me, gardening kind of kept me going because I was trying to get certain colors of roses. And that's the sort of thing that when I say, I think I'm flipping win and completion around with what your example is. My thinking as far as the game being a forever type game, all they got to do is patch in 6 new types of flowers, and all the ways that you can start growing shit from that. And yeah, you're gonna have people for another 4 months, doing whatever. Well, I guess unless you're time skipping.
Yeah, well, and they're not time skipping. I don't time skip. So I really should work on getting my town 5-star, but I just haven't cared enough. I haven't even paid off my last upgrade of my house, the 2 million one.
Yeah, I think it's flowers. Yeah. Flowers put us over the top.
Flowers.
Lots flowers everywhere. Too many.
I have so many flowers. My sister came on my town very early after she was breeding flowers like a mad woman, and just put flowers all over, just slapped them down, and which is fine. But then, every time it rains or every time an NPC waters them, I now have flowers. I have to dig them up around trees just so that I don't lose the fruit.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. The other thing I've been doing is I spun up an Ark server again. I don't know why, but it was time to play a survival game where I tame dinosaurs. I would really like to get through this. There is story. It's a survival game. There are, I think, 10 artifacts and 3 bosses and different difficulties of bosses. I'd like to actually... Now, I've gone and watched a video on the story of Ark and what happens when you kill the 3 bosses and whatever. And I've never done it though. But unfortunately, I'm playing solo right now. But I'm very excited because I saw my sister was logged onto my server earlier tonight. So there's a lot of stuff you can... And of course, I play it easy mode. I've got like taming turned down. I've got mods on there. So I have like classic flyers. And I have the experiences boosted a bit. I've upped how many engrams you can get so you can learn more patterns and stuff. So it is fairly easy mode. But... I still would like to do the story. And then I think, and then different maps have the same kind of thing that gives you more story. There's all the explorer notes to find and stuff like that. So I did see her on there. If anybody wants to play Ark, go out there, look for, unofficial servers, search for the word Sumasu, and the password is RAR in lowercase, RAWR. So if you show up on there, play with us. But that's been it. I've been playing a lot of Ark, to be honest. And I just downloaded BioShock because I've never played BioShock. So I think last time I'd already finished Alien Isolation.
Wow.
I think I already talked about that. Yeah, I never finished games. I loved that thing. That was a lot of fun. All right, you can shoot the shit with us on our website. Go to www.gtffxav.com and let us know what you've been up to, or send us an email or tweet at us or whatever. All right, the first round is news. Ruby, there's only one important piece of news.
Well, that's good because we spent 30 minutes talking about ourselves, so maybe we can spend a little time talking about the good news that came out. But yeah, patch 5.3, all things.
Oh, I'm excited. They did update. We're not going to go over it, but they did update the special site. They put more pictures on it that will never load for me because that's my internet
more
sucks.
Green dots
more
on the right hand side. Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, autoplay the trailer when you click on it.
Oh, that's true. But, yes.
And the trailer's up. Do we want to do the trailer thing now?
Absolutely. What I'm going to do. Yep, I have to. I got to change a setting here that I hope doesn't just destroy everything that we've built over the last 33 minutes. But let's see. This is for how I hear things. I'm going to make it come through my headset. Say hi, Yelta.
Hi, Yelta.
Well, I can hear you. So
excellent.
That's a good thing. But yeah, I'm all about watching this trailer. And I think I've got it queued up.
I'm queued up and ready to go. It's 2 minutes and 44 seconds, it looks like. I've turned the audio down, so I won't.
Heck, yes. Okay, I'll do a little countdown. Listener, you can do it with us. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, we can't watch this. There's sexual themes.
Ooh, pretty music. Piano fair.
Very lovely Crystal Tower.
I've heard people say some stuff about the music. I'll cover that at the end.
Yours is a long road, my friend.
That's cool.
People are thirsty for that boss, by the way.
Yes. I mean, this looks bad. I feel like I've been here before.
I think it's the Norvant Victory Lap dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Head pats.
Head pats. Have some Garlean stuff.
Excellent.
Oh, airships being nuked. Elidibus being creepy.
Having drawn your strength from such a cacophony of voices, can you truly be sure you still speak with your own?
Oh, there's
Guys
our mech.
angry.
Gundam.
The Twitter was hype at this point.
Yeah. Oh, the flying. I got hype when I saw the flying.
Oh, then we got some, not Copied Factory. What's this one called?
The Puppeteer Carnival, some kind of deal. I forget. That's going to be our TG Sid boss.
Do you feel it?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're all gonna die.
The joy you have known.
That's got to be from the Relic quest.
Ooh.
Ooh, and then Stabity.
Oh, Exarch.
Something.
The pain you have felt.
Oh.
Amaranth.
Oh, ever.
Flashbacks.
Uh-oh.
They shall ever be your strength and your comfort. When all is said and done, I would ask a favor of you.
Oh, what favor? What do you want, Exarch? Oh my goodness. Wow, what a trailer.
It's good. They're very good.
Let me let my cat in real quick. You talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's good, right? Yeah.
Incredible.
They did that thing again though, where they like swapped around stuff. Stuff was some of the Guardian stuff was
Sure.
obviously the Relic stuff,
Sure.
and then some of the stuff was obviously on the first because purple trees or whatever. So, but it was a little hard to follow occasionally. Then there's like the weapon stuff because Gaius and the weapon.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it again because I kind of want to do some like side commentaries, some of the stuff that I saw and was talking about. So because I hate over talking the voices. There was actually a lot of voice acting in this, and they said that there was going to be a lot of cinematics.
Yeah.
It's movie time. So
Yeah, this sounds like a movie.
Yeah. So the music thing, I've been hearing a lot of murmurs that the music, especially the vocal part at the end, is some kind of play on the Amarot theme. And you see a lot of Amarot at the end there anyway, so that may be related, but that could be completely wrong. Quickly on the Thirsty boss, I'm sure we'll get to it when we talk about some of these things in the live letter, but my God, that was I woke up right after this went out, because I didn't stay up, and I got up in the morning and I checked Twitter, and I'm like, I'm going to wait till I get to work to really read it, but I'm going to look at Twitter real fast just to see if there's any pictures. And all I saw was this woman from the boss, just everywhere, posted everywhere. So, I mean...
Oh yeah, people had already drawn her. People had, yeah. Great
community. So, just a lot of cool stuff, and I'm super pumped. A lot of stuff around, like, the mech. I can't wait to see and talk about how that's even going to work. Let's go. Let's do it.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we don't know. We're going to use Nova Crystallis's roundup here because it's the best. we really appreciate. They don't seem to mind when we steal it. So, however, that day I was working, but I also had Discord up in the other window, and our friend Bell Dandy, as it was happening, was like posting up stuff, pictures of slides and stuff, and I was in like a 2-hour meeting, but I kind of had, and then when the meeting started, I pulled up the live letter stream. They were still going at it. They were like 4 hours. Anyway, let's see. One of the things is the game's free trial is going to be expanded through Heavensward. Now, mind you, the free trial has some pretty fucking severe limitations.
Yes.
I've already seen a lot of people like, well, why don't you just get rid of the sub completely or whatever? And it's like, well, really? I've known a lot of people who have gotten frustrated with the free. In fact, I bought somebody earlier this year. Somebody's friend was like, man, they're enjoying it so far. They have to wait till payday or whatever. And I'm like, bitch, that's on sale. And I just bought it for them.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me their email address. So, yeah, but it's nice because Heavensward is, the other thing is Heavensward's pretty old now. How many years ago did Heavensward come out?
Oh my God. 4?
It's a while ago. People, you can't join Link. I don't think you can join Link shells. You can't join for companies. I don't even think you can. I don't remember. It's very limited, so it's not really the same as them getting the whole game for free. All right, let's see the content and features summary. Patch 5.3 Reflections in Crystal, we all know and we've taken off. August 11th. They're doing main scenario quests. It's going to be added. They said it's the most voice acting and cutscenes yet.
Yeah.
So you may want to devote a play session to it due to its length. And I have. The Crystal Tower Alliance raids will be required, as well as the My Little Chocobo quest. Okay. We're getting new Beast Tribe, the Dwarves, with a focus on crafting. I'm kind of... I don't know if... Well, here's part of the problem. I've already got everything to 80.
Right.
And I got crafting to 80, all to 80 really, really fast when they added Ishgard Restoration. That just throws XP at you. Mm-hmm. But I am interested to do the Dwarves story and see what's up, but I have no use for XP at that point. Of course, I didn't when it was Mughals, and I guess I didn't when it was Namazu, so...
Yeah.
The Sorrow of World scenario quests will continue. Those are the weapon. That was the ruby, right?
Right.
The Sorrow.
Expecting Sapphire.
I'm sorry?
Expecting Sapphire. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. We're expecting Sapphire. That's the game already told us Sapphire was next. Mm-hmm. We're getting a level 80 dungeon, the Hero's Gauntlet. And I think that's the one they said later that is pretty much all across all of the first.
Right.
Right? We're getting a new mystery trial, and it has an extreme level difficulty. So that'll be interesting to see what that is. We're getting the Puppets Bunker, the Yorhard Dark Apocalypse Alliance Raid series. We're getting the A Realm Reborn revamp, which gives us the ability to fly in A Realm Reborn zones. The next one I'm intrigued. Unreal Trials will feature a classic trial, starting with Shiva. And the classification of Unreal means the boss is upscaled for current gear and item levels rather than players being synced down. And they're going to rotate those fights each patch. And then Faux Hollows is a minigame around this content. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of wondering, the rotating each patch, I'm hoping that doesn't mean something will go away and we're now going to have where you can just like miss something if you don't play for 3.5 months.
Sort of. I think you do miss the fight. I think the rewards will be something like you would get out of the journey. What's it called? What's her face's book? The one with the stickers. Yelta. What's the book called?
Wondrous Tales.
Wondrous Tales. Thank you. This I think will be more like the Wondrous Tales, so like maybe they will upgrade or change the rewards out of Faux Hollows, but the trial, if you don't log in 3 or 5.3, or you don't do Shiva in 5.3, Shiva's not going to be in 5.4. It's going to be another primal. Whatever they choose, it's going to be something different. And my understanding is it's just a complete upscale. It's not new attacks. It's not, Shiva in E8S, that kind of deal. This is just, it's Shiva with the same stinking moves that you knew. It may have markers that are upgraded. This might be our, hey, we finally have, the correct stacking markers and those kind of things. But the attacks will be the same. That is my understanding. And so, yes, if you don't do the fight, you'll miss the actual upscaled fight. But you're not going to miss some kind of, like, it drops some Shiva thing that you're not going to get before. Unless Faux Hollows makes their rewards based on the primal. Then that's a different story.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see what that is. I am intrigued by an upscaled fight. Because, I've complained before that none of the fights, even now, even synced, are what they were when I learned them when they were new. But what's going to be the reward? What's going to be what's going to make other people want to come do this fight? Because people don't do stuff just to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But maybe. We'll see what happens. Okay, they're adjusting to PvE and PvP battle jobs. And they've given us a few notes about it. Astrologian's MP requirements for certain actions will be reduced. Lightspeed will have a 1.5 second recast, and MP regeneration will be removed and added to another action. I'm assuming that's just because Astrologians are thirsty for MP. Bard's going to get a boost in their damage. Multiple actions will see a buff. Monk's going to get a revamp similar to Ninja did, particular to Grease Lightning. All the adjustments won't be ready for 5.3, but they expect to be finished by 5.4. Perfect Balance's cooldown time will be reduced, and Form Shift will reduce one form.
The people in the know, I've heard murmurs that monks can expect to have a new rotation in 5.4. Whether that's true or not, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Summoner won't have any drastic changes. It's going to have a change to Tri-Disaster, and that will be a nerf. I don't think anyone's surprised that Summoner needs a nerf. It's kind of heavy button pressy, but no one else can come close
They're
to
going to
the
change
damage.
the tick, like what? Maybe 5 less damage or something. Who knows what they'll... It can't be much.
Mm-hmm. Summoner... Season 16 of the Feast will begin. No large PvP update in 5.3. Crafters and Gatherers are going to get a new custom delivery client. They're going to get Trial Synthesis. I'm assuming that's the one where you can synthesize stuff as practice without using mats. Yeah. Reverse lookup for recipes using materials in your inventory. And items requested as collectibles will no longer be random. Okay. I like custom deliveries. Even if I don't need them for XP anymore. They usually have a story or something at least.
Yeah.
All right, a party of players will be able to join another party via the Party Finder. I gotta say, after they mentioned this the first time, some of us have been sitting in Party Finder going, man, if we could just merge with that other party. Right? We've actually run into that now. We're like, when is that? So I'm happy. The option to specify one player per job will be added to the Party Finder. That's nice, because people just type no dupes, and you just hope for the best. Players are going to be able to use World Visit while in a cross-world party, useful for those who are changing worlds on hunt trains. Yeah, I've been there. New chapters will be added to New Game Plus. I still have not done New Game Plus. Have you done any New Game Plus?
Not yet.
Not yet. New token exchange vendors are going to be added to major cities that will trade elegant tomestones of poetics for upgraded gear belonging to each expansion, so you don't have to travel all over. Thank you. I think that's probably fine.
Yes, it's time.
That's fine. They're going to add a fashion accessories menu, which includes umbrellas.
Cool.
A sticker mode has been added to the group pose function, so you can add stickers to your screenshot. You can rotate, resize, and adjust the opacity. Can't speak. Of each layer, you'll be able to add the zone and instance name as text, as well as a timestamp and character name. They've added some pictures of that in slides. Okay. You should tease a new glamour, an emote, and a watermelon minion. Mm-hmm. So let me pull these up. We got the sticker. Put a Spriggan sticker on my thing. All right.
Well, the sticker's cute.
The sticker's cute. Oh, there's a bunch of stickers.
Well, all the stickers are cute.
The stickers are cute. And then, there's a watermelon minion. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen the joke going around about somebody says, "Pray return to the waking sands," and the Warrior of Light's wearing something crazy, riding a flying watermelon, wearing like a Hawaiian shirt, riding a flying watermelon. And how far we've come, Yelta. The noble
not
warrior
God who's
of
on
light.
skateboards yet, but...
Oh, God, that's 5.4.
All right. There's a new Magitech flying mount, and a Construct 7 flying mount have been added.
Hey-o.
All right. 5.31, so not on the 11th. Ishgardian Restoration will have another update, and the ranking system will return. We could fight over titles. There's a post on the forum, just if you wanted feedback on should they reuse the title, or does it give upgraded titles, or whatever. So if you're interested in that, go look there. We might talk about that later. Patch 5.35, so again, probably more weeks out.
6 weeks, I think.
That's, yeah, yep. that's when we're actually getting the relic, the resistant weapon quest updates. So that's going to have a new large-scale instance, the Boston Southern Front. I keep forgetting that that's not on Tuesday, the 11th.
Yeah.
Sky Steel tools will be added also then. So that's cool. So what are we actually getting? We're getting story. We're getting a new sapphire weapon, a new dungeon, and a new mystery trial. We're getting that's kind of a standard. It's standard patch.
fare, and
yeah, standard fare.
I didn't quite understand why people were complaining about a lack of content. The dwarfs thing I can kind of get, because to me it's already dead if you already have all your. It's not for you in such a way if you already have them up. Maybe the rewards are good, so you'll still participate. But it could potentially be dead for somebody who's just worried about crafting in one certain aspect. But I'm not seeing, I guess maybe the fact that there's not some kind of ultimate trial here. There's, the fights have been relatively easy. It's an odd numbered patch, so there's not going to be a savage fight this go around. So I can kind of see it, but at the same time, there's enough to do, I think, to carry you 6 weeks before the relic stuff comes out. And I'm really hoping, here we go again, but I'm really hoping that this content is something that is going to be very, very exciting, fun for everybody on all levels, all different play styles, and becomes a sort of at least staple for the franchise, or for 14 moving forward. Something bigger, something with a lot of different facets in the same area. So I'm excited for that. I just hate that it's 5.35.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things that kind of frustrates me, is that's part of the 5.3 trailer, right? Is all the stuff that's not coming on the 11th. And really, it's 5.3, but it's not now. All right. We are getting a Realm Reborn revamp, so that's where you can fly in the zones, but you have to complete a Realm Reborn scenario. So you're not going to be flying over the map. And this is people were crying about flying all over the map. I cry sometimes about flying all over the map, but you actually have to see and explore the map before they give you this. This will just make it nice and easy for travel later, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much, instead of you having to touch all the little, green circles on the map, you have to complete a Realm Reborn, so everybody has to walk like you did. I mean, what a Schadenfreude kind of, make them walk too. I mean, I get it, walk backwards in the snow with no shoes on like we did back in the old days.
But on the other hand, I think it would be really gross, though, to just give you flying before they ever checked out the map. That's what kind of makes me sad. But they didn't do that, is my point.
Yes. Oh, I thought you were saying people were complaining about... Nobody's complaining, I would hope not, that, they want people to get
I've seen complaining that you're getting flying at all. I've seen complaining, why don't you get flying faster? Why do you have to complete the scenario? I've seen all, That's why, and I think they just kind of made this... It's traveling on through a Realm Reborn. The zones aren't huge. There's lots of zones, but none of them are that huge.
Right.
The other patches have much bigger zones, I think. But the other expansions, you do the ethereal currents, and you do some quests, and about the time you're done with that zone, you get flying. Mm-hmm. Right? It's usually the quest that basically sends you to the other zone that gives you that last ethereal current from a quest. So I feel like that's good. And I think this is going to be fine too. And take that plus the next part we're going to read about here. A lot of the quests have been shortened or the requirements are lessened. Yeah. For example, you won't have to collect as many items to complete a certain quest. And they've made a teleport ticket just to get back to the Waking Sands. So you don't have to go to Limsa and take the ferry, or you don't have to go to Horizon and run. And that never bothered me, except for how often you had to do it.
Right.
But, yeah, I think that's fine. Just, they're not skipping anything. They're just making it a little bit faster to get through. So Yoshida explained, and I missed this during the actual letter, they've designed quests to take about 9 minutes to complete back then, even if you skipped cutscenes. The revamp will see main scenario quest experience points adjusted, so you won't need to worry about meeting a level requirement for the next chain. I just leveled a character not that long ago, and I really didn't have to do anything else. I think I had to run 2 extra dungeons or something. But I did do my hunt logs for my class. So they shouldn't have to do too much tweaking to get it so you don't have to worry about meeting level requirements. Now, this doesn't bother me on older stuff, but I don't mind making people run a dungeon a couple times. Maybe get some gear, maybe get whatever. But this is so old at this point that, it doesn't really bother me. And then we already talked about it, but free trial expansion. You're going to be able to play up to patch 3.56 of Heavensward without a subscription. And you can have access to Dark Knight, Astrologian, Machinist, as well as the Aura race. Cool. There's still going to be restrictions on in-game currency. And the Starter Edition will be expanded to include the same. They originally wanted to cap it in at 50, but the more players play, the more invested they would be to pay for a subscription later on.
Oh, so, for sure, yeah.
Most MMO players, either they don't know if they want to play it, and so the free trial and then the Starter Edition is going to keep them going, and they're going to be able to decide if they like it or not before paying for basically just buying the newest expansion.
Right.
So, I think, and if they love it, they're going to want to get to that newest expansion. So, I think this is fine. It's nice. People can see if they like it or not. And it's what it kind of kills me because when you go to the subreddit for Final Fantasy XIV, a lot of times it's I don't know if I'll like this game or not. And it's go play the free trial. I'm not sure I want to. Should I buy everything? And it's just buy the Starter Edition.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Yorha Dark Apocalypse, the Puppet's Bunker. They showed some video of this. They had to adjust it a lot in testing, and when they showed it to Yoko Taro, he said, "Oh, if we die, okay? You should make it so the whole raid wipes if you press this duty action."
Great, thanks.
Thanks, awesome. Dude. Well, to be fair, I actually like it when at least one of the fights is kind of a pain. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I kind of like it when one of the fights is kind of a pain in the ass the first few weeks. Mm-hmm. And then it gets easier as people learn the fight or get geared up, but maybe I might be a masochist. I don't know.
Well, and how very true to Nier to have a button that just wipes the whole raid, let's pull out our circuit and just wipe it. It
looks good. Well, and then they did the thing. I saw somebody complaining about this. They're like, why don't they just do slideshows? And some of it's just because this is how they used to do it. Yoshi P would hold up something towards the camera, and I just find it endearing. I get it, but
it is. It is endearing.
And he used to always be like, I smuggled these pics in or whatever. Some people think these are boring.
I guess they're dieable, right?
I'm assuming they're dieable because the first ones were dieable. And they're not super exciting glamours, but they fit the theme of the raid. They fit the theme of Nier. We've played Nier, right? And if they're dieable, you don't have to use every piece either. I've seen people use just the boots of of something or.
These people are never happy. They gave you the booty shit up front. So you wouldn't be thirsty for the entire 5.0 cycle to get to 5.5 to get the booty shorts. They gave you the big ass cheeks up front. You should be still thanking it, but no. You're tired of the ass cheeks. You want more ass cheeks or bigger ass cheeks or whatever else. Just be happy with the ass cheeks you were given. They could have held out and made you wait till 5.5.
I think they did say something about they're not going to do that coffer.
Right.
Yeah, no, which I didn't mind. It took me a while to get, right? I ran it many times. I still don't have the other minion, and I'm still missing some of the music. But I got one of the World of Darkness minions not that long ago, right? Just a drop that came. You're going to get it eventually. Just don't no life it, no matter how. Besides, everybody's wearing it the first week anyway. Be cool and wear it, 2 years later.
Yeah.
All right, Tribe Quest, the Dwarves. It's crafting focused, as we mentioned before. Their home base will be in Lakeland. And you can expect rewards to include a mount.
Mm-hmm.
What's this video? Is this this little plane?
There's that tank that we saw.
Oh, is that the tank?
Well, we'll see, we saw this image.
There's a little plane. Oh, there's a little plane.
Uh-huh.
She's gliding along.
Yeah. So there's in the video and in some of these imageries, we see that image of the parchment with the tank on it. So I think we can fully expect some these gizmos and gadgets. Action. Yeah, but I
didn't get to see this part.
Yeah, this is pretty sweet. I love the way this looks.
Like I said, I like Beast Tribe dailies. Some people don't like them because they can't just do all of them all day and be done. But I'm like, well, this particular person is catching up. So it's a lot. But if you're caught up and then they release a new Beast Tribe, I really like logging in and doing that every day. Mm-hmm. I think I like a daily.
Why are the dwarves in Lakeland?
I don't know. I still don't know why it's the dwarves either. I honestly expected it to be the... Do you remember at FanFest, Ruby? Mm-hmm. Do you remember at FanFest and they're like, and there will be Beast Tribe quests. Yep. And they showed that race that's not the fairies, but the other ones in Ilmeg.
The New Moon?
They showed them.
Yeah, they sure did. Maybe they hadn't decided yet.
Maybe they... When I think they did also show the dwarves because we're like, but that's not a beast tribe.
Right.
So I but I think a lot of us thought the Nomu would be, but that's fine. We'll see what happens. All right. Let's see. Crafter and Gather updates. Upon reaching level 15, you can take practice crafting without the necessary materials. This is the trial synthesis. I'm actually in favor of that. It takes a while to figure out the feel of things. Even all the new information they've thrown at us, even the fact you can go look up rotations online and you can use, other tools to figure out what you should be doing. You don't get to learn without wasting material. I can go punch a dummy and figure out my rotation, but I can't. I think that's kind of what this is. This is like using a dummy to figure out what the fuck you're doing. I think this is a great idea. Why level 15? Maybe because you don't have very many abilities before then?
Maybe so. I don't know. to throw an ability at 15, I don't know.
Well, and 15 doesn't take you any time to get it all.
No.
You can boil up at 8 eggs and be level 10 or something, so... A reverse lookup function. People are pretty excited about this. Apparently, you know how you can click on something and find out if you have any or whatever? I think you're going to be able to click on your material in your inventory and find out what recipes it goes for. Which is cool, especially because do you know how many times a week I get asked, where do you use that immaculate wing blade? If I can just right click on it and have it pull up, and it's including recipes you don't even have unlocked.
Wow. Right,
I think that's pretty cool. It's a nice quality of life thing.
Very much. We're getting into quality of life season. Mm-hmm. Patch point 3. Expect some major quality of life. I think usually in our point 4s we start seeing some big time stuff. Mm-hmm. The G poses and all that stuff.
You're also going to be able to use a feature that will calculate the number of items you need based on the amount of items you want to create, and they've given a detailed breakdown. Which I'm assuming you could say I want to create 28 of something and it'll just give you a shopping list. Is that what it says? I didn't even read it. I'm hoping that's what it means because I can go do that on Garland Tools. Or other websites. Quick desynthesis will let you desynthesize a single stack of items in your inventory in succession.
That's great.
That's nice. Do you know how many times I have to hit 0 and then 4 and then 0 then 4 or whatever to say yes, I want to do that when I have a stack of fish? So that'll be nice. I'm okay with that. All right, Ishgard Restoration, patch 5.31, the third phase. New gathering items will be added to the diadem. Skybuilder rankings will reopen with new titles and achievements. The team shared their plans for titles, but they're not finalized quite yet, and we'll be checking in the comments about this. Skybuilder ranking achievements and titles will be added this round. The 1st through 12th place will be Divine Ascension, Saint of the Firmament. Phase 2 titles will have Phase 2 added to them. 1st to 100th will get Minor Miracle, Beautus Ascendant. Beautus or Beauta Ascendant title. Previous phases will have their titles modified to reflect the change as well. So okay. I think what their question was, should we keep throwing new titles at everybody every time we're doing new rankings, or should we keep them the same? And just if, so you don't feel like you have to no-life it to get 12th place every time it comes out if you've already got it. Or people who bought.
Yeah, the jury's out for me because I don't have enough experience with this, and I don't mind even talking about this topic right here, right now, if we wanted to dive into it just a little bit. But for me, I don't think if there are bots, if there are unfair advantages for other things, it makes the title almost not even worth it. It's frustrating for people who can't get this. Again, for me, the jury's out because I don't do it, but I can put myself in somebody's shoes, and there's somebody in our FC or by proxy in our Discord, and she got 13th at 12, I believe, and so it's just right there. And 1 through 12, one of them could be beep bloop beep bop, the bot. We don't know. Yep, it's terrible.
Well, and I got 83rd or something, so I have some title. I can't even remember what it is. You know what? I think they should just reuse the titles. Then I won't feel like I have to go try to get a crafting one again and give somebody else a chance. Or I can decide to really push it and try to get one of the 1st to 12th titles. Honestly, I think the 1st through 12th titles, I feel they shouldn't even bother with that one almost. That's so limited. That's 12 people on the server will ever get that title, and that, I don't know. And it's a fucking title, too. So I don't really care. I don't care not getting titles. Now, if it was a mount or a minion or an orchestrion role or a unique glamour item or something, I'd probably be more upset.
Absolutely.
Or have an opinion one way or the other. But it's a fucking title. I just don't really care. But I think they should just have a title for 1st to 100th, and once you've earned it, yay. Let somebody else earn it. But I guess I don't really care either. All right, Save the Queen, Blades of Gunhildr. That's patch 3.5. That's our relic weapon. And we are getting a large-scale encounter at the... How do you say that? Bosgen?
Bosgen,
Southern Front. You can band together with 72 players, assist the resistance in their mission to rout the 4th Imperial Legion. It's different than the Forbidden Land of Eureka, as there will only be a maximum of 72 players in an instance. You can focus on the story quests or take on an extra challenge. The decision is yours. So hopefully that'll be good. How many could go in Eureka? 130 or something?
Yeah, it was higher.
I don't remember. So hopefully you'll get 72 people who don't just want to AFK waiting for fates to pop.
Absolutely not. God, that's right. That's the initial experience. I've been watching some Eureka stuff. I had an interest, wondering if they had added XP to it, because this content will have XP that carries out of it. I think they'll probably tell us more here as we read. But I was interested in some Eureka going back because I never did finish Eureka, and back to the old days of we originally thought it was going to be like 11 where you'd be able to make a camp, but the only camping that ended up happening was people AFKing until something popped for a fate, and then they ran to do it. So I hope lessons were learned. I did not get to experience the logo stuff, and as we're going to see here that we're going to have access to these actions. I hope they learned a lot of lessons in 4.0 and are putting some good stuff together here from the get-go. Yeah,
I'm hoping lessons were learned. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that's fun. I hope that people will have to play. I mean, I want people to be able to go AFK and run to the bathroom, right?
Sure.
I don't want people to be like, can't miss every pull. But at the same time, it made me sad that, well, I know for some people it was nice that the semi-AFK way worked. So I'm hoping there's kind of a middle ground, so, you can be in a party and AFK, but not just AFK and wait for fate to spawn.
Yeah, the middle ground, Yelta, was I could do something on my own to progress myself and jump in these fates and get light or, tomes or whatever was the flavor whenever you did the fates. And what ended up happening was you couldn't do anything on your own. They had to patch that stuff in later with, doing the achievements and such. And you couldn't do it your own way. You couldn't take a group of friends and just say, let's just kill this group of mobs over and over and build our light slowly or whatever. You basically had to do it the way that everybody else was doing it. The train, hop on the train. Or you weren't getting it done in the early days.
Well, and I was so upset, I'm still very upset, that I did Eureka the day it came out, and I progressed through all of the levels and did all the things pretty quickly, and I did it again for a second weapon through all the zones. But that meant I could never play with you.
Yeah.
Or the only thing we could do is fates, which is okay in one way. That's kind of the only thing you could do. But your friends would have to get to a certain point. You couldn't sync down to them. We couldn't even do our challenge log effectively together until you reached a point where you were capped in a zone. Because you could still work on your challenge log in a lower level. But it just made it really hard. I mean, I've watched many Free Company members be like, well, we're more than 6 levels apart, so... And then you get into trying to cheese stuff. I'll flash the mobs because it didn't do damage back then, and you can kill them and get the XP. That still didn't feel satisfying. Right. It didn't feel like playing together. All right. Let's see. So it sounds though like there's some way to do story quests or an extra challenge. We don't know what that is for sure. 110%. All right, in order to participate, you have to be 71 or above. You can change jobs and form parties once you're inside the instance. You'll gain experience when using a job below 80, which I thought was cool, especially since we don't have a deep dungeon, right? This should give you another way to gain some XP. When you enter, you will be level synced to 80, and your gear will be item level synced to 430. If you're below 80, you'll be up synced to 80, similar to how Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High work. That's weird, but it might be the least weird way to do this, I guess. I don't know.
Again, they seem to have less issues upscaling than downscaling. We couldn't get a level sync, but they're lickety-split making Shiva work for level 80 people, so let's see how it goes.
All right, let's see. Mounts can be used immediately, which is okay. You won't be able to fly, though, which I kind of like, because I feel like you could just... I don't hate flying. It can be used to just completely skip around stuff.
Right.
You will do the battle with the 4th Imperial Legion to raise your mettle. With sufficient mettle, METTLE, raise your resistance rank to help the front line push forward. Then you can storm Castrum. I have no idea. Ignatius Litor. Players can increase their mettle by joining special encounters on the southern front. There are 2 kinds, skirmishes and critical engagements. You can't earn mettle outside those encounters, despite mobs being on the field. So skirmishes are battles initiated randomly on the field, similar to fates. There are no limits to the number of players that can participate, rewarding medal to contributions in the battle. Players will also receive lockboxes, which they can be appraised to receive various rewards.
Standard fare.
That's standard fare. And you still have a max of 74 people, so 72 people? What was it? 72 people.
Yeah.
All right, critical engagements are battles initiated after meeting special conditions. Only a limited number of players can participate, encounters ranging from 24 to 48 person battles, so it's never going to be everyone if the instance is full. Designed to be intense battles that take place on the field, comparable to dungeon or raid bosses. These will award greater medal and rewards for completion. While critical engagements are triggered, you have a brief time to request deployment. It looked like a little queuing up screen.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will be given an option to transport to the battle location and have a brief period of time to prepare before battle begins. A critical engagement fails if you wipe. There will also be a type of encounter that follows critical engagements that involves one player against one mob, 1v1, and other players can watch from the sidelines. They showed a picture of this, so it's a big circle, and everybody can kind of crowd around and watch. You may be selected for this if you did well during the critical engagement. You won't need to engage these to complete the story. The largest critical engagement will to storm the castrum involving 48 players. If you don't have any lost actions, it'll be tough. Lost actions I'm going to cover in a second. If there are more requests for deployment than are permitted for an engagement, participants will be selected at random. However, it's possible to gain priority in a participant selection. You can contribute to triggering the critical engagement or use special items to obtained in the Belgian Southern Front. So it sounds like you're not... I think this is the cure to not being able to AFK and still, get in, I guess. That's my guess.
Mm-hmm. So, my understanding on critical engagements, think emergency missions from Diadem to Electric Boogaloo.
Which were not good, but
yes,
hopefully they learned.
Hopefully they learned from that one as well. So if you'll recall, open your history books, children, the emergency missions in Diadem, there'd be a siren and it'd pop up and whatever, and you had to scramble to a certain spot on the map. Everybody has to get in by the certain time. You kind of lined up in this, I don't know what it was, a mausoleum or something, and then you all wiped to the incredibly crazy boss mechanics that were going on and the lack of organization or whatever.
Well, there was no time to arrange anything hardly. People who didn't know what they were doing would just run in and face smash it.
Yeah.
And I only ever saw it twice to begin with, I think,
Same.
and I did that shit a lot.
Same. I've known people that were successful in getting weapons out of it, even good weapons, but that was few and far in between. So it was a train wreck in my opinion. But hopefully this is a little better because this seems like you click a button, it takes you there if you're the lottery winner or if you meet the number of participants, and that there are ways that, maybe if you farm this content, that you and your buddies in your group have an item that gives you priority to get into it, and if you use the item, and hopefully they're a little few and far in between, or you got to work toward it, but if you use the item, you pop in. I don't want an item like this to be easily buyable, because then people are going to just buy them up and then have a leg up. I hope it's something like you kill X number and it's a very rare drop from one of these skirmishes or something. But anyway, it seems neat. Let's see how it goes. This is the
I
most
need a date
exciting.
when this is out, though, because this is what I want to do. I want to see the story.
This is the most
course I want to see the story.
exciting part to me is all of this. And I don't even mean the fact you can do a 1v1, which is kind of neat in itself, although I can see people having issues with this in a way. But this is all sounding pretty epic, and I'm sad that I have to wait for this like you, Yelta. I'm sad I have to wait.
All right, and then they talk about lost actions. They're special actions that only be used in the front, blah, blah, blah. Beneficial effects, healing, or revive players in battle. They're created from forgotten fragments obtained on the field. They are crystals used to create these actions, and they have a given weight. You can only carry a certain combined weight, so you have to choose wisely. I don't know what I think about that, but okay.
Combining logos actions, whatever that is, some kind of method.
But they're heavy, so you can only carry so many. I don't know.
Sure.
All right, then we get to resistant weapons. They can be strengthened after gaining access to the Southern Front. Players can also accept a quest from Geralt and Gangos to begin collecting items to augment their resistance weapons. The required items can be found both in and outside the Belgian Southern Front. So we don't 110% know what that means. But they did promise us ages ago there was going to be 2 ways to work on this weapons. So, so cool. And there were some pictures, but I don't remember. They just talked about, there's some slides. Was there anything good? I know one of these gave me anxiety. There are all these people standing in AoEs, and I'm like, move! The critical engagement one. Move. And this all looks like very fighting the Garlean Empire, which should be obvious.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we
Yes.
want, right? It's time. We've been begging for something where the Garleans are batting down our doors, and we're having to fight off the hordes of enemies, and we're doing it the opposite. We're going to their castrum and knocking the doors down, and I'm all for it.
But I know I'm going to have to do some, they said you can do the quests or the story quests, or you can do whatever. I'm going to have to do the story quest because I want to know the story, but I'm hoping that the other route will be good too, because I probably will want to do a couple of the weapons.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
That's why I got to finish Eureka. I got to finish that story eventually.
Yep. I still have to do a Baldician Arsenal. I'm in a link shell that does it. I'm in a couple of different Discords that do it. I just haven't been brave enough because it seems like you need to prep, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm scared I'll screw it up for someone else. So.
Yeah, I want the critical engagement to feel a little more like... I don't know. See, again, this is something I never got past Pago, so I don't really have any good opinion to give on that. But I've heard that sentiment from you and from other people about it seems like, you're doing your Eureka content, and then there's like, boom, now it's Baldician Arsenal. You really got to get your shit in gear because we ain't fucking this up. Now, maybe it's not that way now, but at the time it was like, hey, you got to know your shit. And people didn't do it. And now, for someone like me who hasn't done Eureka at all, what hope do I have of doing Baldician Arsenal? Maybe it's still out there. I don't know, and maybe they'll nerf it to the ground. So I hope that these emergency missions, not emergency missions, right? The critical engagements are more welcoming. I don't know if welcoming's the right word. I don't want it to be Care Bear, but I want it to feel important, yet not like...
fuck you important.
I stepped in the wrong spot. Now I just stopped 72 other people or 48 other people from achieving something.
All right, then let's see. Mannequins. Oh, new glamorous housing items and minions. I skipped too far. Mannequins representing Hrothgar and Viera races have been added. That's everybody now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. Housing items have been added from the player design content and the Yorha Dark Apocalypse series. And they've given us several new minions were shown. I don't remember.
I'm just looking at pictures. Which minions?
Okay.
I see it. Well, no, that's food. I was like, what's this big burger looking thing? I don't recall what minions. I just see the pillows and these other screenshots.
Mm-hmm. They're giving us a new Galacat-like minion with a winter coat you can get from Skybuilder scripts, so that's cool. Yoshida showed off the new Bosjin gear. I don't see a picture of that one here, but we do get a Hawaiian shirt, apparently. And, like, the skirt's kind of cute. I don't know what I think of this glamour, but okay. I hope it's dyeable at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, the Hrothgar, Viera, and then... what are those called?
What?
The guys that the sylphs get turned into...
Oh,
the minion of them already.
No, I'm thinking Leafmen.
What the fuck are they? Anyway, this looks like a burger.
It is, but it's like it's the beaver burger.
Beavers. I'm like, the word was escaping me. Oh yeah, there's the picture of the Galacat with like a little coat on. It's pretty adorable. And then I can't tell what that is. That looks inspired by maybe that new boss.
Now I'm hungry.
Now you're hungry. I want a burger.
I either want to eat a burger or some beaver.
God.
Or both.
Oh my God. All right. Speaking of oh my God, the Yokai Watch collaboration is back. This has come back twice already, or this has come back and then it's been back once, I think.
Yeah.
So that is coming back on August 19th, and it's going to go through patch 5.4's release date. It's going to have new items for Gunbreaker, Samurai, Red Mage, and Dancer.
Very cool. It's
going to have a new flying mount for collecting all the weapons.
Jibinyan.
And, here we go. This is the one I've gotten asked for many, many times, and I'm like, I can't imagine they wouldn't. previous weapons from the 2016 event will also return. So you will be able to, if you didn't do it the first time, you will be able to grind up the all the weapons.
Yeah, I didn't get
it
them
was
all.
a lot of fake grinding, man.
I didn't get them all, so here's my chance.
You didn't?
I don't think I got all of them. Maybe it wasn't all of
I
the
got-
minions that I got. Maybe I got all the weapons, but or did you have to get? Did you get the minion?
I think you had to get the weapons and the minions were kind of the same thing, I thought.
Yeah, then I didn't get them all. I think I
Same.
only got the ones I wanted. So
Well, then you had to, I can't remember for sure. No, you got the minions and then you grinded something up with the minion out. I can't remember. You know, it's been a really long time.
Yeah.
But I got both the mounts and all the minions and weapons. So
'Cause
I will go back and finish
I got
this
my
up.
sperm mount, but I never got the glowing sperm mount.
I got the glowy one. All right, but it's cool that we'll be back. Honestly, the dancer weapon I thought looked really badass.
Yeah, I actually was impressed with the red mage one. Thought that looked pretty
Mm-hmm.
wicked with the eyes in it. Yeah.
When I was confused at first, I'm like, where's the cute little minion? No, the little dudes they showed were the minion.
Yeah.
They're huge compared to the Lalafell. They look really big to me. All right, Fan Festival 2020 and 2021. They've already canceled the North American Fan Festival. They've already canceled the Japanese one. So they're still not entirely sure about the EU one, right? They're still looking into it because that's the European Fan Festival they're still considering it in February of 2021.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the big news is Japanese being canceled, and now we're like, what do we do? And it's not like the North America's getting any better. I mean, Europe has done a good job at quelling it, but good enough a job that they're the one of the three that goes first. I just,
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Minnesota just put down. I think tomorrow we're having a total mask.
I mean, Yelta, I live in
so-
Texas. You know,
Huh?
I live in Texas. It's partially our fault. We were like, oh no, we're good. We just go outside.
good.
It's fine. It's good. And now we're like, it ain't good. It's not good.
Yeah, so I have to get some masks. My husband has some, but I've been working from home, and he's been doing like all the shopping and stuff. I might like run to the liquor store, but we haven't had a mask rule, so I don't have any masks.
Yeah.
He has masks. My mom is making them, so I may have to order some.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure. February now seemed so far away. It doesn't seem that far away now, especially when you look at the numbers. I wish they would just come out and say, you know what? We've canceled these things, but we'll give you like a super awesome 14-hour live letter or something.
Yeah, something.
That's what I feel like they need to do, right? All right. They did some announcements, and then they did buy our stuff. The announcements were Final Fantasy XIV recently surpassed 20 million players. They gave us a graphic. The graphic is not in here. The Moonfire Fair, that seasonal event is going to run from August 12th through the 26th. The Yokai Watch collaboration is going to run through August 19th through patch 5.4's release date. They say through. I hope they mean through, not to, because that's going to piss some people off if they didn't do it. The Rising seasonal event will run between August 27th through September 10th. In August, this year's All Saints Wake event will have elements in the Manderville Gold Saucer to coincide with the Make It Rain campaign. And the Make It Rain campaign will run between late October through early November. I heard, I can't prove this. I heard somewhere that a good translation of what was said was they didn't have time to do a complete, unique All Saints Wake event, so they've combined it. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it makes it unique and it makes it special, I don't mind combining some holidays together.
When I'm like, especially in these times, right?
Sure.
But like a spooky All Saints Wake event at the Gold Saucer,
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. They're going to do a live patch note reading on Monday, August 10th at 20 JSTs. 20 is 8, right? I have no idea what that is in American times. New installments from the Tales of the Shadows short stories will be released in late August. Cool. I think those usually coincide with the Rising, right?
Yeah, typically.
Bring Art's Yoshitola figure will release in October 2020 for
Money.
8,800 Japanese yen or 94.99 USD, blah, blah, blah. And you can pre-order her. She looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. She looks pretty good. We're getting a Meister Quality Omega in January, and it looks awesome.
Yes.
And it comes with a emote. It actually looks pretty good. At first I looked at it, I'm like, meh. And then I looked at it more closely, and I'm like, well, actually, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's very Amano, the faces. I've heard some people say, like, I don't know about the faces, but it does look very Amano.
Oh, no. I like the faces. Then, let's see. Pulse Final Fantasy XIV Remix album will be released on September 30th, and that'll be 35 USD. It's going to be 14 popular Final Fantasy songs arranged in various genres like EDM, future bass, house, techno-pop, and electro swing, which I don't know any of those. So I'm old now, and when they were doing the preview, I'm like, I'm not sure that's for me, because I'm going to hit you with my cane and get off my lawn.
I honestly don't. I know what those are, but I don't know that is there a difference between those 5 genre? I thought they were all just electronic loud beats, like.
You're almost as old as me.
Okay.
So I'll hit them with my walker. You hit them with your cane.
Okay. You got it.
We'll both tie onions to our belt. No, I actually heard some people who are more into that type of music actually have given some positive feedback that they liked what they heard and whatever.
Good.
It just might not be for me. They did do a video, which I don't think I watched all the way through, about the new remixed music.
Oh, I was right.
And that
It goes.
oh, let me.
I'm listening to it. No, there's some actually some neat ones in here. I had.
No. Do you know what's really bad though?
Yeah.
So this stuff sounds like the music my son makes, and I love the music my son makes, but it is not for me.
Yeah, I can feel that.
just
Like,
not
this
for
is
me.
at the rave. This is, got a little Molly running through your veins. No,
Oh, what that is?
Molly water.
I only drink. That's all I drink.
Don't drink the Molly water.
No, but that was it. It was a really long-ass letter. There was a lot of people very excited about it. We got a lot of people in the last few days popping their heads up in our Discord, and they're like, yo, what's up? We've actually lost some people in the free company. I'm hoping that they are just moving to other servers or found other homes that fits them, because they didn't say anything to me. So I'm hoping I hope they are playing and are found a better fit for them.
Yeah.
So, it just always makes me sad when people leave without knowing, because we have some people, old time players, have actually come back on the Discord recently and are like, oh yeah, how's it going on whatever server? And we're like, we miss you, but, glad you're playing with people more your time zone or whatever. So, it's good. It's good. Whew. All right. Well, 5.3 and 5.31 and 5.35 or whatever are coming. But now for a reminder, we do still have a contest for a little while longer. What, we got 3 more weeks? We have a few entries, so you better get in on this. The contest is Show Us Your Bird. Give us art of your favorite bird in Final Fantasy XIV. No dragons, birds. And the prize is a peacock mount. The contest ends when I can't talk.
Patch 5.3.
The contest ends when patch 5.3 hits. You must submit by email, gtffxiv@gmail.com. All right. Then we're going to do happy hour. We got a couple of emails. Ruby, you want to take these?
Yes. So we've got a follow-up, and this is from Rob. He wrote us back, and he said, hello, gather together. I'm following up with y'all after hearing your advice. I came from Warcraft, and the past few expansions have been lackluster for me. I used to do progressive rating back in the day. I play alone on 14, so my book is open on what I want to do. Can you give me a shout out on the podcast? I'd love to have a friend to play with. My name is Sai Callistra on Exodus. So Sai Callistra on Exodus. So that said, I have decided to continue to 80 on Summoner. I blame Ruby after hearing how much he enjoyed Summoner in a previous podcast. After 80, I decided to level up my 50 Astrologian, Samurai to 80, and then start a Bard. Probably level up some crafting jobs as well. Thanks for all the help for getting my character on track with what I want. Love the podcast, and hope you all have a great day. Sai Calistra, Calistra. First name Sai, S-Y. So, hope you find some friends out there on Exodus. And cool on Summoner. It's probably a little easier than it was to play. I was telling Yelta before we started the podcast that part of me not playing, I have determined, has to do with my setup. Ergonomically, I've had some issues with my wrist, especially when we were doing Savage, or when I was doing Savage last with the breasts set. And now that Summoner has less frantic opener and rotation, maybe it's a little better, but in that I still need to do some changes, I think, ergonomically, like maybe some better posture, move my monitor to the right a little bit. So maybe I just need to take all the shit off my desk and underneath it, take everything down, put everything back up, and we'll see. So, Sai, thank you. We got one other email from Philip Kane. Philip says, "Hey there, Yelta and Ruby. My friend who's a big WoW fanboy who also plays 14, and I have a discussion every patch cycle about the repetitive nature of this game. How even numbered and odd-numbered patches are predictable to the point of farce, and what to him feels like a true lack of an end game. 14 is my first MMO, and I'm not too familiar with the expectations from where a lot of veteran MMO players come from, but did either of you share these grievances? If so, what would you like to see change? Thank you guys, and keep up the good work." I'll shoot. I don't have quite as much experience with that. I think that maybe fundamentally a WoW problem as far as comparing every MMO to WoW, or at least to WoW's endgame. I can think of other MMOs that either I played or I had roommates play, and they had wildly different endgame content. I was talking today with my wife about Ion. I had a roommate who played a shit ton of Ion, and to me, just witnessing him, endgame content were those massive PvP battles that were happening at the end. I mean, that's completely different than a story-based MMO or whatever.
I never even made it to Ion's Endgame. I leveled up, and then I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and there's each MMO, I guess, could have a PvP type endgame and a PvE type endgame, and I think there's just a lot of comparisons to WoW because it's WoW. I mean, it is, and it's the giant. It's the standard, or at least it was to some degree, and 14 has borrowed a lot from it. So I can see playing WoW, or coming from WoW and playing 14, there's a lot of similarities. So you might expect a lot of similarities at the end. And I think this is the story that we tell time and time again, is that the expectations of content are different player to player than what I think Yoshida wants us to have. And at the end of the day, Yoshida says things like, go play something else.
Go
if
play
you're
other
bored.
games, yeah.
So it sounds to me that the producer and director of this game knows that he's not making endgame content that will keep you involved for months upon months at a time. They are not producing WoW-type endgame content, like Mythic Dungeons or God knows whatever else. I'm not a WoW guy, so I don't know all that for the end, but I do know that people do the same raids over and over ad nauseum because the drop rates are so frustratingly low, and they've been trying to get that one item for that one job.
They need that one trinket,
and
you have to gear up so you can gear up.
Right, exactly, and and have frustrating mechanics that one person can wipe the whole raid, and you got to start all over, and things. And I'm sure there's a lot of fun, but then you also have to have a lot of those kind of mechanics to stretch some stuff out. I don't know another way to do it. Once they figure it out, build it, you've got the formula for the greatest MMO of all time. But if you can figure out how to not have these little tedium type things or stuff like having to sit down to get your MP back, which is fun and fine. You know, I'm sure Yelta and I will probably play, what's it called, Pantheon?
Well, I might be Pantheon. I do like that kind of game. We both. I played tons of 11. I played it as a healer, and you had to sit and regen mana, and that gave you a chance to chit chat with your party members. And the puller would pull, and then the pull would be out. There was downtime. 14 is a very differently paced game, both in the individual fights and in its content cycle. So we get what do we get? A new eye level patch every 6 months?
Yeah.
So the heartbeat of the game's gear treadmill is much more rapid than some other games.
Right.
I think that's really kind of what's confusing. I have had this same argument where you do the content, you get the gear, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Right? Then it's not worth anything very quickly.
It's not.
I've just kind of accepted it about this game.
Yeah, it's not a marathon, it's a sprint. This game is all sprint. It's not marathon content. And it was hitting us early. It was slapping us in the face early when we were seeing that Relic 2.0 going to Relic 3.0 is basically they broke the cane over their knee and said, oh, here's 2 pieces to start your next Relic. And we were all like, what? Thinking like, okay, well, maybe this chains the Relic. No, it's just a new Relic every expansion is just a new Relic. And so
there's a hard reset every how many months.
Yeah. And these were the things we just had to learn to swallow. So Phil, you've played a long time, you get it, and I think it's just your friend is based everything on the pulse of WoW. And it would have to say you gotta feel it's a different pulse, it's a different animal. It's okay to own a cat and a dog. It's okay to play WoW and play 14, but don't expect your cat to play fetch. Don't expect your dog to do whatever cats do, which is nothing. But so.
Well, and I do think that gearing up to the point of endgame is so simple, right? That I think you lose that whole and WoW does it. At least back when I played it, you used to have to do. No, well, I guess we have it in the 14 too. It's just you're pretty much geared. There's only 4 floors in every new Savage, right? And they're pretty quick. Even the normal modes are very quick, and the Savage modes they're hard. And I'm not even doing them, so I'm not going to say they're easy. But it doesn't take experienced, talented players very long to do them, right? It takes days or weeks, and then they farm them out after a few weeks, and they're done. There's nothing else. I think a lot could be done if they would have a 5th or a 6th floor every time, but then they'd have to design 2 new fights every of those patches.
Yeah. They don't add more stuff.
And 2 versions. What?
They don't add more stuff. They don't add more work. They take things away. This game.
They simplify things. So I feel like I had to do more progression rating and farming to get gear, to do more progression rating and farming. I feel like it took longer in WoW, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I feel like in 14 it's pretty easy to either buy good crafted gear or to get tome gear or whatever. It doesn't take that long to be raid ready on one job. And maybe that's the other thing, too, is I can only get one job raid ready quickly unless I'm playing multiple characters. And WoW, I don't remember how hard that was. And then, a lot of people ran multiple characters. So I think it's just, like you said, it's just a different paced game. It's not right or wrong. There is an end game. There is a real end game, but it's not quite the same. And then we have Ultimate, but we haven't gotten any Ultimate.
Yeah.
That's the other problem is there's, once you've finished Savage, what do you go do? And then since the gear refreshes so quickly, how do you reward all of this endgame appropriately? Because you have to give higher eye levels in 6 months.
Yep. And it makes
So
it makes content become so inferior. Old content becomes so outdated that I saw a report this week that 8 tanks beat Ultimate Coil of Bahamut. And so, like, I'm not saying that that's not a feat. I'm sure that, they worked hard to do that, but still, things start becoming trivial over time as you go, because then they do complete rewrites of how the jobs are done, and it makes everything trivial that was before it.
Oh, yeah. I've complained about how some of the job rewrites have made some of the older content just so easy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's what they want. I'm from old school MMOs where a half an hour is too short to even do a dungeon. Right? So people want 12-minute dungeons, and they want, everything done in under an hour. So I'm used to, or personally would prefer, a slower pace MMO. But don't get me wrong, I just have accepted. I'm not going to stop playing Final Fantasy because it's not everything I want it to be. I enjoy it completely for what it is. But part of me is a little bit thankful then that since it is what it is, I may, when one comes out, I can go play another MMO. I can go play other games. I would like one that had, more of a gradual progression, right? That you have to work through. People who join Final Fantasy get so mad that they're not immediately at endgame, and I'm like, I don't know.
Imagine having that attitude in other MMOs. Like, it would take you so much longer. I'm going back to the original question here. I think the beauty of the expectation, the predictability of what's coming every patch is that you can play a game that requires more in-depth, like what Pantheon is expected to be, like an EverQuest, like 11, like WoW, maybe something that would take more challenge or something, and know that, hey, in 2.5 months, there's going to be a catch-up patch, and, or in this patch, here's an even number. I know I'm going to get 4 good jump rope boss fights, get caught up on some stuff for a few weeks, and then 2 months later, I can give it a rest for a little bit and go play some other game. So that to me is the beauty of the predictability. And there is some unpredictable stuff too, like not Baldizian Arsenal, but the Bosnian Southern Front is yes, it's like Eureka, which was kind of like Diadem, which was kind of like some other stuff, but they are trying to invent some new things. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you and I have talked a lot about. We still feel like there's one more piece of content. We don't know what that is, but something juicy. And for me, not Diadem. Diadem's all gathering now. Eureka helped fill that. There's still stuff I don't have in Eureka, and I still go there. I still join bunny parties, and I'm talking last week. And there is a lot of stuff still to do.
Good to know. Because I need to.
If you wanted to go to Eureka, I put it on the calendar. I'll come to Eureka with you. But there's also something a little bit. It has become comforting, honestly, in the predictability. The repetitiveness, yes, I am one of those who complains every new fucking dungeon is 3 bosses with packs of mobs you can just basically pull wall to wall, and the gear is inferior on your main. And, there's stuff I don't really like, but I've just kind of accepted it. But I would like to see them try new things and do new stuff, and I do think they do. They do try stuff, and they do iterate, right? Diadem wasn't what they wanted. We had Diadem 2, Electric Boogaloo, and then now we have Gathering-only Diadem, and we've had Eureka, all the different parts of Eureka, and I think they've learned a lot. So I'm super hoping that this new one will be fun, and I will... Some of it's about content length, right? I'm hoping that if I want to, because even Eureka, I haven't grind out every relic. There's achievements for a lot of relics I haven't touched. So I've gotten all of the level 80 relics that exist, but, I probably won't grind all of them. But I like it. I hope that it's interesting enough content that if I log in and I'm like, oh, well, I can work on this relic or whatever. And hopefully I can play on an alt class with someone who's not the same level as me, and we still, because it's all level 80. That's what I'm so excited about that part,
Yes,
really.
yes.
But anyway, we're beating a dead horse. It's a different kind of game, and it's just, I think it's just paced differently.
Yeah.
And you just got to accept the pace. You can still yearn for more, but WoW is just different. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of content droughts in WoW too, I think. All right, thank you so much, both of you who emailed us. And let's see, I think it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website, www.gtffxiv.com. While there, please leave us a comment. If you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at GTFFXIV. You can email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at RubiconVale, RubiconVale.
And you can find me on Twitter at Yelta Sumasu, YELTASUMASU. Actually, I have one other thing I want to shout out quick. It's not perfect yet, but I am doing a podcast with my sister, and we're going to steal Ruby and make him guest.
Yes, please.
Yeah, my sister Carrie, she's not Carrie anymore, she's Carrie again. Carrie and I are doing a podcast just based on video games. We're just talking about what we played, what we're excited about, that kind of thing, and we just talk way too much. But if you're interested and want to burn an hour on your commute or sitting at home, we are currently, I think we're only on SoundCloud. So if you just search for the word Sumasu, SUMASU, or Sumasu Sisters Gaming Podcast. So let us know. I shout this show out on there all the time, but I don't think anyone listens to that yet. So I think eventually we'd like to do like a board game one too, but we don't get together enough to do board gaming, so it might expand in the future.
You mean 2021 when you can actually
when we actually can play together without wearing a mask. Yeah. All right. I guess then we're done. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.